Let's continue here on America's Forum. We're joined by Nick Casale, the former Deputy Director of Security for Counterterrorism for the Metropolitan Transit Authority in New York City. He's joining us by phone. Staying with us on Skype from Washington, David Inserra, the Research Associate for National Security at the Heritage Foundation. Nick, let me go to you first. What is the mood there in New York today?
Well, I mean, everybody is somewhat concerned, and everybody is looking to see how to address future issues.
And so these future issues, well, we see the attacks in Canada earlier this week, and then yesterday afternoon, what appears to be a lone rat attack with a guy. The reports are Facebook, his Facebook page filled with Islamist propaganda, although the official connection has not been made yet. Do you think, Nick, this was a copycat case of what transpired in Canada?
Well, it could be. I think it's a little early to say that, but, you know, we've called them lone wolves. The director of the FBI calls them lone rats. But there's reason for this, and the reasoning is very simple. Any organized cell that looks to plan an attack has to have communication. Our ability to intercept these communications and our abilities from the Joint Terrorist Task Force to investigate them keeps these cells somewhat dormant. Once they become active, they become exposed. Once they become exposed, those participants will be captured and prosecuted. So what you have here is what we've seen in the past. We can not only go back to an incident in England where an attack was against an off-duty soldier, but we can go back even further to the Black Liberation Army attacks, whether underground Fallon of police officers. There is no way to secure these type of attacks if they're going to occur.
But as you mentioned, it starts with terror cells being activated, whether it's a large group or more individuals. And David, to that point, in terms of our borders, is Washington ever going to get a clue on real border security?
A tremendous lack of interest from the administration about really securing our borders, about doing the right things with regard to immigration enforcement. That being said, you know, currently right now it's not clear, you know, whether there's a connection in this current case, but there does remain that individuals could use the border, but they could also use other borders, including, as I think you were alluding to, Canada, or coming in and not being checked on a watch list. We do our best to try to catch those things before they get here to the United States, but our efforts really need to be redoubled in those areas.
Nick, let me go back to you. An observation by Marco Rubio that the U.S. needs to track homegrown extremists in advance. There are no borders right now on the internet, yet it seems that social media, a whole lot of people are going there expressing their intent. I think of the three schoolgirls in Denver who wanted to go join up with ISIS, who later were caught in Germany and returned home. Nick, what steps can we take with the internet to maintain a free society, but to have vigilance over this type of coordination, if you will?
Well, it's very difficult because if we're going to police the internet on thought and conversation and belief, then we're just going to fall into the trap that the terrorists want. Remember, terrorism is very simple. It's by means to convert a group, to have them in fear so that they protest to their government and say, we want political change. And you know what? We don't want to give in to any terrorist threat. And we don't want to curtail our own liberties and giving in to terrorists. I mean, it's almost a catch-22.
It is indeed a catch-22. We will have to end it there, Nick. We hope to have you back real soon to talk about what's going on in New York. And David and Sarah, as always, from the Heritage Foundation, we appreciate your thoughts. So you heard our first two guests talk about these kind of lone rat attacks. What do you have to say? Why don't you tweet me your comments at Newsmax TV, #America's Forum, and we'll be right back.